it worth your wellness. Every breath you take. Turn your burnout into a big remake. Make it worth your wellness. Don't fade away. You're healing on clearance, and that's okay. Scroll past the filter, skip the noise. Find your calm and stay poised. You're not late, you're right on cue. Every fit skill looks good on you. So light it up, get glow through the doubt. Even discount dreams can still work out. We rise, rewind, and do it again. Off-brand hearts still find their zen. Make it worth your wellness. Take your time. Even chaos can fall in line. Make it worth your wellness. Make it yours. We're all just healing in synth-wave chords.
Some people wake up and their brain is a nice and tidy to-do list. Others wake up and it's as if they left 67 browser tabs opened and one of them is playing explicit scenes and you can't figure out which one. Welcome back to Bargain Brand Wellness. Tonight, we're talking about what it's actually like living with ADHD. If you've ever struggled to start something you wanted to do, lost track of time, or wondered why you can't hyper-focus on a whim, you're not alone. So grab your favorite fidget and do your best to pay attention because we're about to, hey, look, a squirrel. Welcome to Wellness. You like that intro, didn't you?
Yeah, it was good.
That was good. That's good. All right, give me 2 seconds. Daniel, let me adjust your screen so our viewers can see your lovely, lovely face. No, I need to adjust this one, and that should adjust this one. All right. Yeah, we definitely need to. Got a big change here. That's the bad thing with Discord is it moves you around so that I can't ever prepare ahead of time where people are at.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun. Uh-oh, Ethan's over on YouTube chat. How you doing over there, Ethan? I see you and Mom. Got Danny on for ADHD. Yes, I do. We're
Damn.
while I'm kind of getting everything set up here, as I've shared, we're kind of leaning more towards guest, kind of changing up the format of the show a little bit, so you can kind of expect this. I'm gonna be reaching out to people. All right, so that one's fixed. Everybody, just give me a second. Daddy will get it fixed.
Ew.
Oh, that was pretty good on the first try. A little bit bigger. That's what she said. Okay, that looks good. Okay, now I just need to adjust this one.
I don't think I've ever gotten up to 67 tabs. It's definitely in the 20s, maybe 30s for me.
It was definitely a lot. Yeah, I just thought it'd be funny if I did 67.
6, 7.
I'm almost there. That's what she said.
So am I.
So we don't ever talk like that. And then I bring you or McDermott on here. I start talking dirty. You guys are a bad influence on me.
It's darker on TikTok than it is here on Discord.
I think we're good. You look good there. You look good there. You look good there. Let me.
I always look good.
You do. You do look good, but I got to record on my end.
Hi, Mom.
All right, perfect. All right. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome to Bargain Brand Wellness. How y'all doing on this wonderful, wonderful Friday evening? It's nice that the sun's still out. We have our next guest on here, my brother from the same mother, Danny Marine. How you doing, buddy?
Amazing.
Amazing.
Glad to be here for the ADHD episode as your leading expert on ADHD.
Pretty much. I mean, although we both have ADHD, you've had a lot more experience with it than what I have had.
And I feel like different kinds of it, because when I was a kid, it felt like a different kind of ADHD than what I experience now.
Yeah, and I would agree with that. I mean, you're definitely a different person what you were then.
Yeah.
But I've actually talked. I use you and me as an example in training quite often. I like to use what I know.
Cool.
They say talk about what you know. So when I talk about ADHD, I actually use you and me as a specific example. I explain that you were diagnosed as a child, and correct me if I'm wrong. Would you agree that you were more as a child the stereotypical ADHD?
Yeah, it was more hyperactive and didn't pay attention and couldn't sit still.
Yeah. And so that's what I explained.
Stuff like that.
Whereas then I explained, like, for me, someone who didn't get diagnosed until adulthood, I was a complete opposite. Super hyper focused, right? Did well in school, but had more anxiety behind a lot of it.
Right.
I probably had ADHD as a kid, but because it didn't look like what stereotypical ADHD was, it just no one thought about it like that. I was just a weird kid at times, I guess.
You were a weird kid all the time. We both were.
Yeah. Yeah. So you say, what your ADHD now is different than
so
than when
now
you was a child.
And I mean, this started in like my mid 20s, maybe even before that. It kind of changed. I wasn't hyperactive anymore. That could have also been a lifestyle change too, because I noticed that, well, I mean, I guess in high school I stopped the whole hyperactive thing, but it was kind of when I started gaining weight. I wasn't hyperactive anymore, but it was more, I have a extremely hard time focusing on a lot of tasks, paying attention, and then chronic fatigue really, really affected me through my late 20s and early 30s. And it took probably close to 10 years to get my about 7 or 8 years to get my meds right, to where I haven't changed my meds in 3 to 4 years, and they helped me a lot.
And so now you're in a good place with your meds.
Right. And I was going through a point where, like, when I take my ADHD meds, I don't like drinking. It just doesn't make me feel good. It hurts my stomach. Right.
And they say you're not supposed to drink with that anyway.
Oh, I guess.
Oh, that's what my doctor told me, but
well, it hurts my stomach anyway. So there for a while, like, I still enjoy drinking. So, like, I would take a week off of my medicine if I wanted to drink, and like, I wasn't helping my brain at all, because when you come off of that medicine, it's like a roller coaster going down. Mm-hmm. You get, like, after the second day, you get real bad brain fog. I get headaches, and then the fatigue sets back in, like, really hard. And then, after that week, like, whenever I want to get back on my medicine, it was like that first day or two, you feel like you just took a bump of Coke.
Okay.
And I don't really like that feeling. I like being level.
Yeah.
And I'm more productive that way. So.
All right. So my experience was a little bit different, but I also was only on it for a shorter period. I was only on mine for like 6 to 8 months. And for me, I found myself chasing that dopamine boost.
Oh,
because
okay.
I would take Adderall first thing in the morning, and within 10 to 15 minutes, boom.
You feel it. Yes.
I mean, locked in for hours. I mean, I could just be sitting here and I could just be reading something, or just I would be hyper focused, but I'll forget to eat.
Yeah, that happened to me a lot whenever I first started taking it. When I first started taking it, dude, I could honestly clean my entire house in one day.
Yeah. And so then when I got off of it, I didn't experience that brain fog you're talking about. I was just more chasing that dopamine hit, and I would just try to find different things to hit it. And it took me a while to kind of just level out to just normal.
Yeah. I mean, at
dopamine.
first I was kind of trying to chase it too, and I was doing it with like caffeine and stuff like that, but caffeine doesn't affect me anymore. So what I learned to do is in the evening time is whenever you want to settle down, you get relaxed before you go to bed anyway. So I started making myself look forward to bedtime, to sleep, because like when my head would hit the pillow, I felt great. And if I didn't get at least 6 to 7 hours of sleep, I felt like shit the next morning, even after taking my medicine. So I learned to force myself to enjoy the, settling your body down, relaxing before bed. And now it's whenever it comes like 8, 9 o'clock and I'm almost ready for bed, I enjoy that time a lot.
Yeah. No, I do too. I'm for me, because I don't do the medication anymore. I've thought about it a couple times, but I think going back to work was a huge bonus for me. Plus a lot of the other things I've done. I don't think I need it. I'm just worried. I have a very addictive personality, and I worry that I was just kind of end up going back to just really kind of chasing that. But same thing. I kind of just, I kind of just find it in way to enjoy little things, and it kind of takes a lot of a mind shift. I've been trying to get back into shape a little bit, so I make it a point to get on the treadmill 20 minutes every morning. I've been working out every other day, with the exception of today, just because it's been a hectic day.
Are you doing your little girly push-ups though?
No, I do not do girly push-ups. I do real push-ups. What I do like doing, because abs are one of the hardest things to work, I started doing what's called dead bugs. You ever heard of them?
No.
You kind of lay on your back, and almost like you're a dead bug. Your feet are bent, and then your hands are up in the air. And then like you'll extend one arm and one leg and then back and then vice versa. But you're on your back the whole time, so it's really engaging your core. I actually really like those ones. They don't hurt my hip as much.
That doesn't sound like a workout.
It is a workout. It's a workout because your hands and your feet aren't ever touching the ground. They're up in there. It's kind of like 6 inches.
Oh. You ever tried Superman's?
Yes. Yeah, they hurt. They hurt, but they're not too bad.
Why don't you just be a man and do some planks?
I don't like planks. Because I got to keep moving.
I don't either, but they hurt.
This is my ADHD, and this, I don't know if you're like this. If it doesn't interest me, I don't want to do it. I have to get excited about it to want to do it.
I remember the one day me and Caleb were at the gym, and we were on the mats, and we were trying to do like a core workout. And so we did planks, and he was like, well, how long are we going? I said, go to fail. Go until you can't go anymore. No bullshit. I lasted maybe 12 seconds in plank position, but well, that's also because like I've gained a lot of weight.
Yeah, if you haven't done them in a while.
In a year. Caleb went, I think it was like almost a minute. Because he's got a weak core too. But yeah, I was really disappointed in myself. Like 12 seconds on a plank, but they're tough.
They are tough. Yeah. So I mentioned today we're doing a slightly different format within our guest episodes. Some of the segments that we do on the show, usually when it's just me and Nova, I actually wanted to start kind of incorporating into our guest segments. So you'll get to be our little guinea pig for this one. So we're gonna do a segment of That's Debatable. I'd like you and I to debate a topic, nothing that neither one of us may be super strongly convicted about, but if you'd like, we can kind of go back and forth on this debatable topic. And actually, we kind of just already talked about it a little bit. Should ADHD be treated primarily with medication?
Okay.
Which side would you like to take? I'm prepared to take either side.
I am going to take the no side.
The no side. Okay, so you're going to take the against side. I'll take the for side on this. So, and I'm kind of like you. I could really go either way on this. So the for side, understanding that ADHD is more than just a mindset shift, which can help. Don't get me wrong, but it's more neurological. There's a lot of things that need to be firing in there. The reason most people with ADHD struggle is because their brain isn't able to produce dopamine at the right levels. So it creates a bigger problem. So that's where the medication can come into place and can help.
Right. So what I'm going to say against that is that, getting that dopamine can help. There are other ways to get that dopamine effect in your body, but you don't want to be addicted to a dopamine fix because, a lot of that can lead to unhealthy choices. There's some people who cut themselves to get a dopamine hit. But also the reason because some ADHD medications are not the best for your body. I mean, you look at Adderall, like these are amphetamines. They're not really good for your body. I mean, it's almost, like taking a bump of Coke.
It feels like it.
I mean, it's a controlled substance for a reason, and it can be dangerous if you don't take it the right way. So, and I know there's people out there that abuse the medicine that they take, and I've seen it in people, and it's not a good thing.
Yeah.
So, I don't think it's for everybody in that situation. So,
okay. No, I mean, that makes sense. I guess the biggest push that I have is I think medication management's an important thing. Now, it helps if someone has the proper support systems in place. A lot of these medications, the reason that they don't end up working is because we don't trust the process, right? You need to kind of figure out dosages and different types of medications. I did hear from a colleague one time recently that they actually do, I think it's called gene testing, where they'll swab and kind of get some of your DNA, and they can figure out how certain medications will react in your system. So something like, what are all the different ADHD? Vyvanse, Adderall,
Ritalin,
Concerta, different ones. They can actually see which ones might interact with you, which can then boost the benefits of that medication for the individual.
Well, and also it'll cut down on time that it takes to figure out what works for you, because that can take a while. That could take months up to a year, you know?
Yeah, I can just see someone who's really struggled, right? If you're someone who struggled with school, work, or even emotional regulation, that medication in itself could end up really helping those individuals. I mean, I know when I first got on Adderall, it was a major benefit. I mean, it did everything I needed it to do. I was locked in. Other than the fact that, I kind of felt like I was getting a bump of Coke, which I've never tried, but how I assume it felt.
It took me 3 medicines to get on the right one. So when I first started back on it, I was on Ritalin, and it kind of worked, but it didn't work long enough. And at the time, I don't know if they do now, but at the time they didn't have an extended release. So it didn't, I mean, without getting at a dangerous level of a dosage, like by midday it would cut off. Like it would just wear off of my body. And so then I switched to Vyvanse. I'm not a huge fan of that one because that made me like a zombie.
I have heard that.
It made me like a zombie, as like no emotions. I had no emotions at all. Like I couldn't laugh. I couldn't cry. I was way too super focused on, like, I would literally lose track of time for playing a game or doing different activities. I would literally lose track of time. So then that's whenever the doctor that I have now, she put me on the extended release Adderall, and it took a couple like tweaks to the dosage, and I'm finally on the perfect one and been there for 3 or 4 years. So.
Yeah, and I will say the extended release is necessary. When I first was on it, I was on the extended release, and it was wearing off by late morning, early afternoon.
Right.
So it wasn't really helping. And that's when I really started chasing. That's when I was drinking caffeine. That's when I started really getting into energy drinks there for a little while, because I was like, I need it. I need energy. I need positivity, and it wasn't working.
I would also say another thing for against medicating for ADHD is I don't think because there's different kinds of it, and I don't think every kind needs to be medicated. I think a lot of it, and I've heard a little bit about this on Joe Rogan's podcast with different experts that he's had. A lot of it is what you eat and drink.
Mm-hmm.
Making sure you have the right supplements in your body, like vitamins, having the right amounts of vitamins in your body, eating healthy, not eating stuff with all those dyes in it. Cause I think the dyes and the carcinogens and stuff that's in our food and drinks causes a lot of mental disorders.
You're not one of those MAGA crazies that thinks vaccines cause autism, are you?
Vaccines.
I'm just
I don't think I was gonna say I don't think that's a MAGA thing. I think there's a lot of actual studies that prove that.
Okay. No, that makes sense. All I'm gonna say is trust the science.
What do you mean?
I'm just joking.
I was gonna say don't do that. If I'm trusting the science, then see you're gonna get me started on a tangent you don't want me to. Why are we giving a hepatitis? Why are we giving hepatitis vaccines to babies?
Yeah,
you want to get started down that path.
You saw the same episode I saw.
Yeah,
that is a good point. So that was our first guest segment of That's Debatable. Not bad. I'm trying to find different confrontational type topics to really debate with guests. It's easy for
I don't like confrontation.
You don't like confrontation? You're all.
No, I mean, well, against you, I don't mind because I want to fight you on occasion
and lose.
Yeah, okay, that'll be the day.
That'll be the day that he dies.
Damn.
So, so walk us through a day in the life of someone who has been dealing with their ADHD for 30 plus years.
Oh, you're asking me at the most boring time of my life right now.
Listen, but that might be the time, where your ADHD might come into play. Maybe it goes to my point about the importance of medication.
Okay, well, this is the importance of medication because right now I'm on a routine 7 days a week. And you can ask Caleb and Ashley, if my routine gets messed up, and I don't think I have OCD, at least, it doesn't feel like it. I hope not. But if my routine gets messed up, I either get mad or I panic.
So I can tell you it's not OCD. I did a little research on this because I actually thought for a while I had OCD. It's your ADHD. When you're very hyper focused on something and something breaks that focus, yeah, you tend to become emotional and frustrated. That's normal.
Okay. So, I mean, a day in the life of me. So it all depends on my work because right now I get to choose my own hours. I'm up at no later than 7:30 every morning.
Okay.
First thing I do is I take care of the animals. Then I take care of myself. And depending on the time of year, with delivering groceries, sometimes it's busy in the morning. Right now it's not. So I actually stay at home in the morning and I usually don't go out till like 12 or 1 right now.
Okay.
So in the mornings, I find something to do. I would like to use that time for the gym, but I'm a lazy sack of shit and I'm not. So I usually sit there and watch like ESPN in the mornings, like First Take, Get Up, stuff like that. And then I'll go out and pretty much work all day. I'm working 6-7 days a week right now. And come home, I'm usually home by 6 because I got to take care of the animals. Again, I'm on a time thing. The animals need to be fed by 6:30.
Yeah.
And then, I chill with Ashley and Caleb in the evening until we go to bed. And usually that's around like 10:30 now. So, yeah, this is a really boring time of my life for you to ask that question.
No, but it's important because you're right. Here's the funny thing about the routine. The routine for someone with ADHD is so hard to establish, but once they establish it, don't break it. because it can crumble. It'll send your whole word to kiss. You'll just all of a sudden a month from now, you'll just find yourself just sitting like a lump and not doing anything. So
I panic a little bit.
Yeah. So here's what I've been working on to create new habits, because I mean, I'm a relatively healthy person, but yet I still feel like crap sometimes, right? My hip hurts.
Right.
This damn belly that I can't seem to get rid of. So what I realize is once I get excited to do something, I go full bore into it, and it's too much to sustain. So I'm learning to throw little things in there to create that habit, such as 20-minute walk. I just started working out this week, but I started over the last month with 20-minute walks. First thing, as soon as I get up, 20-minute treadmill walk. Not elevate, not incline, nothing that's going to cause a whole lot of discomfort for me. Enough to get a minor sweat, get your metabolism bubbling, getting everything moving, and then that's it. That's all I do in the morning, because that's all I really have time for. I probably could work out, but then I start rushing, which is why I couldn't sustain this before, and I start panicking, because even though I could probably show up to work, not anytime I want, but I don't clock in. So
damn, poor Mike.
Well, that's all of us. That's my team. We don't clock in. So, although I usually get there at 7:30, if I showed up at 7:45, there's not that big of a deal. But in my mind, I'm like, no, I got to be there by 7:30. So it didn't work for me. This way, I'm not in a hurry. I work out when I get home. We do have a home gym here that I've been trying to get in the habit of using. And so now what I'm doing is I'm just creating small little workouts. I figure something is better than nothing, right? Like you said, a 12-second plank. Sure, that's not good, but that's more than what you did the day before.
You know, I have a solution for this, that you can take out this whole routine thing and fill your time with other stuff. And I can stop being a lazy sack. Well, I can continue being a lazy sack of shit. And one thing for you and me both to take care of it. Hear me out. All right. Ozempic. Let's just go. Let's just go for it.
But that's, I mean, I've seen a lot of people lose a lot of weight. The other thing for me is that's the only area I need. It's really just my belly.
Right. So Ozempic will take care of it.
And it's like, for me, it's only like 10 to 15 pounds.
Right.
I will say I have noticed just over the last couple weeks, the other thing I've been really working on is my portion sizes. I overeat way too much, but I've been getting better at it.
I'm the opposite. Really? I knew Mom was going to say something.
No Ozempic.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying just Ozempic. There's other GLP ones that you could do. I don't know if I want to go that route, because it just feels like cheating.
Yeah.
A little bit. And see, I'm the opposite when it comes to eating. I'm not an overeater. I actually don't eat that much. Really? I do. I think a lot of my weight, to be honest, is water weight, liquid weight.
Yeah,
because
I'd agree with that.
You will never find me without a drink.
I'm the same way.
During the day.
I'm pretty sure that's an ADHD behavior as well.
Well, my mouth is always dry, cotton mouth from it. So, but when it comes time to eating, I don't really eat that much.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, that's good. That's good. So yeah. So the small routines are really helpful. Today in science, right? A recent 2024 article on brain imaging study found that many people with ADHD, parts of the brain responsible for attention, planning, and impulse control develop more slowly than average. Researchers looked at thousands of brain scans and noticed that areas like the prefrontal cortex, which is the part that helps with organizing tasks, regulating emotions, and staying focused, tends to mature on a different timeline. So the ADHD brain isn't broken, it's often just developing more slowly in those systems. That can make things like deadlines, organization, or long boring tasks feel way harder than they do for other people. And interestingly, ADHD brains often work interest first instead of priority first, which is what we kind of talked about. Meaning if something is interesting or urgent, focus can lock in. But if something is important and boring, the brain often will refuse to cooperate. So here's the question I want to throw to you. Do you feel like your focus shows up more when something is interesting rather than when it's just important?
So I found that this was the boring thing was probably my biggest issue in school, and I wish I would have figured this out way sooner. That you can your brain can turn something boring into something exciting. You have to, like, if you have to do a task, do it in a way that, you know, makes it exciting for you. Even if it, you have to break it down, like do the task, like, do 10 minutes here, take a break, do 10 minutes here, take a break. Or like, it's hard to describe. Like, there's stuff that I find boring, but my brain will find like ways to do things differently than other people would. And that makes it more interesting for my brain.
Because you're associating with something else you are interested in.
Right.
Whatever that might be.
I love anything that has to do with like puzzles, not like, just the tabletop puzzles, but like puzzles in general. So a lot of my tasks, I kind of like to do, I kind of turn it into a puzzle to try to figure out how to finish that task or complete that task and make it interesting for me by doing the puzzle, so.
Yeah, and so like this is the nerd in me. Like mom and I are both we love numbers, but I also like I'm a big policy guy. So like I got put on a policy revision team, and we were given small tasks. And here's what I've learned within the work that I do is you give people small tasks, half the people do it, other people say I'm working on it, and then they eventually give you something later. Whereas me, if you give me a task, I'm jumping on it right now, and I get super hyper focused on it. I come up with all my own revision suggestions and forward them on to other people to share. I enjoy it, but I'm hyper focused on that. It's not that I'm super excited about that, but I'm excited about the opportunity to have something new
and something to do, actually to do.
Yeah, especially when I'm not training. Because you're right. A lot of times, if I don't have class, there's not a whole lot to do.
Right.
Yeah. So what you're talking about, like breaking it down, this is exactly what I also do in school. Because let's take this example. One of my classes I just did was called Alcohol in U.S. Society. Great class. I really enjoyed it. We got to make like our own social media campaign. It was fun. But some weeks I might have 10 to 15 different readings that I have to do within that whole week and then do a discussion post on later. Half of which probably aren't even involved in the discussion post, but I don't know that at the time.
Right.
So what I do is I'll use AI to create what I call the bucket breakdown. I'll upload all of those readings because I can read those and I probably won't remember half of what I just read. So I'll upload them to ChatGPT. I said, and I have my own prompt that I give it. Give me the bucket breakdown. Take each of these articles and put them into different buckets, and then let's have a conversation about it. It'll give me like kind of an overarching summary based off of that topic, and then we'll have discussion questions, and it'll help relate it to what I already.
And what are the buckets for?
The buckets are to put all the different articles in.
Categories?
Yeah, basically creating its own categories to put all of the articles into.
That's funny because like with a lot of different stuff, I separate everything into categories. Yeah. And that helps me. All right, so it makes everything smaller, so it feels like it's more accomplishable. It's more manageable. So then I tackle this category, then I tackle this category. Like, perfect example, when I'm doing a tabletop puzzle, I categorize everything by, a color or a part of the puzzle that, if there's a bear and woods, I get all the trees and then I get the bear pieces. Making everything into a category makes it so much more easier and feels like it's more accomplishable.
Yeah, definitely. Actually, I don't know why you say you're having a hard time hearing me. It shouldn't be anything going on my side. I'll turn me up a little. I don't want to turn me up too much.
Turn your volume up, Ash.
it could just be her. Okay. So yeah, so it doesn't necessarily just have to be something that you're interested in. It can be something important. You just have to make it somehow in your brain. You have to make it interesting to you, because
right,
you're right. Like if not, you have trouble locking it. Like over the years, I've been trying to get back into reading, and I do pretty good. But then there's times where I might go like a couple months without reading. But I've been doing a lot of reading lately, which makes it easier. But if I feel like I'm just reading just to say, hey, I've read a book today, I struggle to really get involved. I have to find something
Right.
that I want to read. Like I found these, we were there down there at the Queen City, the flea market place. And I've always wanted to read these like Star Wars books, but they're not based
okay.
they're not based off the movies. They're just additional stories. And these aren't even canon. These are what's called like the legend. Like the legends, like there's stuff that they might pull from these that is accurate to the movies. It's still got like Luke Skywalker and Han Solo, but it's its own story. I read both these books in less than a month. I just finished one of them last night. They're both like 350 pages, but I was interested in it.
Right.
So that's one of the things that can be a little bit difficult at times.
Oh, Mom's saying the same thing.
It's hard to hear Tim compared to Danny. That's weird. I mean, I had an issue with my volume a while back where it was really, really loud. See, Mom, you're on YouTube, so you shouldn't have any issues hearing. I don't want to turn it up too much, but we can do that right there. I don't know. That's why it'll be nice whenever we get this new computer.
Very true.
Yeah. Ethan. I don't know if he's still on there. Yeah, because I haven't touched any of the settings on here, so everything should still be working fine. Unless it's Discord. I wonder sometimes it's not Discord. Something pulling more from the mic or something, or I don't know.
Oh, it could be.
It actually could be. Because OBS...
So you sound fine in my headphones, but
OBS is reading me
myself.
Fine. I don't know why YouTube and TikTok would be different. I can turn myself up more on TikTok, but where I'm seeing the meter at, I don't want to take it up too much higher.
Right.
And yeah, maybe it's just how loud you are. But I don't really want to turn you down because you don't sound too loud to me.
Right. Now you sound fine to me, but I can control that on my end.
Yeah. And plus, you're just a loud person anyway, so.
I'm really not, though. I can be, but I'm really not.
All right. So the last segment I wanted to kind of talk about today, I wanted to do our own little version of what the hell? Our reoccurring grind my gears segments. I have a couple of thoughts here that are things that can really grind your gears as it relates to ADHD, especially when we talk about the stereotypes that people throw at people with ADHD, right? Oftentimes they say, hey, if you're really struggling, just make a list, right? Because that list is actually going to solve your problems, right?
Are you asking me?
Sure.
Oh, making a list, yeah, it can solve your problems, absolutely.
But it doesn't always work.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you, dude. This is my list app on my note app on my phone, and I have a lot of lists. I'm just saying.
But regardless, people, stop being so judgmental. What the hell? All right. Here's another one you've probably heard before, and you even say it about yourself. Being called lazy.
Yeah, I'm a lazy sack of shit.
But
It's procrastination more than anything.
But maybe it's just your ADHD just getting in your way when you're having a really bad day.
No.
What the hell?
No, it's not.
We kind of just talked about this one. Just focus on something you like, right? Ignore the things you don't.
I'd love to.
But it's not always realistic, right?
We can make it that way, but your life is going to be shit.
Yeah, sometimes priorities pop up, right? So we have to focus not on just what we like to do, but even the things we don't. Nobody likes to pay bills, but you do it anyway.
Fuck those bills.
And here's a little note. People with ADHD struggle to pay their bills on time, which is the great thing about automatic payments.
Hey,
as long as you don't overdraft.
Stop pointing at me. I feel attacked right now.
That's why you got to say it. What the hell? ADHD people are known, people with ADHD are known for losing things constantly. Where did I put my phone? Where did I put my car keys?
I
actually did
never
this
lose
time.
anything.
This was a long time ago. I was on my very first cell phone having a conversation with someone. I was in my car, had been in there a while, wanted to get out of the car, and said, as I'm talking, I was like, where the fuck is my cell phone? And I'm talking to the person like, I really can't find my cell phone right now. And I'm on there. I'm like, and the person, I think she might have been high. Because she was going along with me. Where'd you last have it? Where'd you last see it? And I'm like, what the hell? I'm on my cell phone. But I was there for like 5 minutes looking for my cell phone while on my cell phone. What the hell?
I feel attacked. I never lose anything.
And not only, I mean, she's putting in all caps too. He loses everything and then yells at us. Ashley,
Okay, no.
what the hell?
I don't lose stuff that they move or take. That's why I yell at them.
All right, well, here's our last what the hell comment. You ever get the one where you don't seem like you have ADHD?
I've forgotten that.
You've never gotten now.
No, everyone looks at me and they're like, yep.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That motherfucker is the leading expert on ADHD.
He's the poster child for ADHD. Well, I've gotten it. You don't seem like you have ADHD. I didn't know it's something you could see. What the hell? Oh shoot, that was fun. Yeah. Now, like I said, I wanted to start kind of incorporating some of the segments into my guest appearances. So I'm glad you were my guinea pig for me. I might scare people I don't know off when I try to do it though.
Have you ever looked up different videos on YouTube about like people and their daily life and basically vlogging with ADHD?
I've thought about that, and I was like, I almost tried it, but I'm like.
But have you ever watched other people?
Mm-hmm.
I did a few years ago, and I ended up coming up on this girl, and I've watched a lot of her videos and how she deals with it every day, and she took medicine for it. Well, she ended up moving to a different city, and she had to get her doctor to send her medicine to a different pharmacy, and then they had to do a prior authorization. Anyway, she ended up not having any medicine for like 3 or 4 days, and this girl, I mean, went into full breakdown and bawling to her recording herself bawling because she didn't have her ADHD medicine. And I've had to go without my medicine for a little bit, but I've never, had to rely on it so much that it made me cry.
It made you break down.
That's just what scares me about some people, that they rely on it too much.
Yeah, absolutely. Interesting. No, I've thought about doing vlogging videos, and it sounded like a cool idea, but the one thing I'm not, we talk about interest, editing.
Yeah. Mom. He gave a what the hell.
I'm sorry that your dad gave you ADHD because we know it came from him and not me. What the hell? That's a good one.
I mean, that's true. We definitely saw dad, grandma.
Yeah.
I didn't see it in grandma until after she passed away, and we started going through her house.
Yeah.
And then realizing, holy crap, like just how she had everything organized. Dude, she had shoes that were in box, never worn. I mean, like, why do you still have that? And like, it was just because ADHD, she didn't want to get rid of it, but she wanted to keep it, perfect and organized.
Yeah.
You could see it bad.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But she was more organized with hers.
Yeah,
it was like she was medicated, but she wasn't.
That's the thing with ADHD. When they say it's on a spectrum, and I know people overuse that term, it really is on a spectrum.
It's on its own damn spectrum.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. I mean, when you think of someone like our grandma, you figure she only had one child, right? She was single, so she could kind of do whatever she wanted. So she kind of organized her life and didn't have to answer to anybody. So throughout her whole adulthood, she could do all the things that we talk about that would make our lives easier. See, and here's the thing. It's not that the people in our lives don't love us, but what works for us may not work for them. So we have to then kind of build our lives around those other people. Whereas she didn't she could do whatever the hell she wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
All right. Well, thanks for popping on here. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Anytime. I'm going to watch me some baseball.
Nice. Nice.
Let's go. Team USA, baby. Let's go.
Enjoy. All right, buddy. Love you.
Will. All right. Kind of like you.
Love you.
Love you.
All right. He said
See you
it.
later.
It's on YouTube, people. See ya.
See ya.
All right. All right. Stick around, ladies and gentlemen, because the fun's not over. We're going to keep this thing rolling. Got to make some quick little shifts here. Close down Discord, move things around. And we're going to get into some fun stuff. We're going to play a few games. Hang out a little bit. Like I said, we're doing a kind of a new format here. But we're enjoying it. We're doing our thing. 1 minute. All right, so that part was still recording. There we go. All right. What do we got next, people? Hope y'all doing what you need to do, taking care of yourselves, ready for the weekend. I remember Bargain Brand Wellness is partnered with Dude Wipes. For all your fresh and clean needs, get yourself some Dude Wipes, especially before you do the doo-doo. Always important. Appreciate it. If you're interested in getting yourself some Bargain Brand Wellness merch, we have our flagship Make It Worth Your Wellness t-shirt, as well as our Bargain Brand Wellness hat available. Limited time edition. We have our self-care on clearance t-shirt. Get it while it's hot. Only going to be available for another, 17 days? March 31st will be the last day you can get this. But as the beginning of April, we'll be launching a new shirt. I'm super excited. I've been working on the design a little bit. All I'm going to say is you may or may not be a wellness warrior. So we'll see. I'm hoping to start selling some more of those. Maybe especially if we add like a graphic to it, we can maybe start selling a few more of those. As I mentioned before, the shirts aren't really for making money. It's really just for merch. I make a little over $1 off of each one we sell. We haven't sold many, so we'll leave it at that. But real quick, let's head on over to YouTube, because we're still going to do our usual video reviews over there. We're going to head on over to YouTube and see if we can kind of react to some videos that kind of related to this topic. Let's talk about living with ADHD. Bum, bum, bum. Got a filter because we're looking for shorts. It doesn't necessarily have to be anything super recent. The best representation for having both autism and ADHD. Super organized in certain areas. Gotcha. And then other areas, it's just a mess. That's funny. And I thought this was going to be one of those. I've seen these videos. Maybe we'll find one here in a little bit where they start one task and something else triggers a thought. And so they start another task, and it's just a revolving thing before they actually get back there. Could you pick a different color shirt other than white? Yeah. We'll try to figure out something. I didn't want to do just black, but we'll figure out something different. I could possibly make it different colors available so that you can pick. I just got to see how that works with Printful. Because I have to publish each one individually. Or no, I think I can choose how many colors are available. I don't know. I'll check it out. I'll see if possible. I'll leave it up to you all to pick what color you want. But yeah. So no, this is a good video, and I'm sure anybody who, and honestly, I don't think this is necessarily just an ADHD thing. I think a lot of us have this in our lives where we're super organized in certain things of our lives, and then other areas are just a mess and just cluttered. I know for me, my level of ADHD, this is why I say, like, when we talk about the spectrum of autism and the link between it and ADHD, I tend to lean a little bit heavier towards the neurodivergent side, because there's a lot of things in my life that I like to keep in certain order because it calms me. It keeps me very clear-minded and just ready to move about. I don't know if I really have any areas in my life where I can tell you where I'm super messy. And I don't even really try handwriting. And my mom will tell you that was the main bad grade, and really the one bad grade that I always used to get was handwriting. They do say that people with messy handwriting have higher intelligence, but Who's bragging? But yeah. So no, I would say handwriting is probably the one area in my life where I'm probably messy. And most other things I like to try to keep pretty organized. Handwriting was, let's say it's still pretty bad. I mean, it's legible, but it's pretty bad. I like to type a lot. Yeah, so that's really the one area I'd say that I tend, like, let's put it this way, my vehicle. I do not leave trash in my vehicle. If someone's in my vehicle, I'm aware of the trash. Even if I didn't see it, I know it's there. And I remind everyone to, hey, take your trash with you. But I don't routinely detail my car because it doesn't interest me. It's more of a longer thing. I don't typically wipe down my dash or vacuum it out. I do it maybe once or twice a year. I like having a nice, fresh and clean car, but I don't really enjoy doing it, so I don't go out of my way to detail it. But get your trash out of my car. All right. Let's what are we gonna do next? We're gonna play a game. The wheel wellness is on a current pause, just because I feel like I'm constantly saying, oh, let's head on over to the wheel wellness. We're just gonna be playing our games. We'll try to get through most everything that we usually do. The only thing I think I'm gonna kind of leave off is word salad and connections. I think I like both, or not connections. Sorry, contexto, word salad and contexto. Contexto is one where you're kind of just guessing words, and we've had fun with it. But if I'm being honest, I think it's more fun when we have a lot more people on here. When we have like 3 or 4 people on TikTok and 3 and 4 people on YouTube, for me, that's when contexto was the funnest. When it's just 1 or 2 people on here with me, it's not as fun. And then word salad is kind of just, you don't really know what you're running into, but those games aren't quite as fun. So we are going to play a lot of the same games, but we're going to start off with our daily Wordle. All right. Let's see. We are going to record this, I think, just to see how it looks. All right. So let's check out our daily Wordle and see what we come up with. I'm going to draw a letter. Y'all give me a word. Let me know. Give me a 5-letter word. We got the letter G today. We haven't had the letter G in a while. Give me a 5-letter word starting with the letter G. Try to use as many consonants and vowels as possible. I could take several G words, but a lot of them tend to be GR. Could do GL. Yeah, give me a G word. Let's see what we get here. Bam, 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 bam. You read my mind. I thought that's what direction you were going to go. I was thinking great. All right, let's try it. Great. We're Tony the Tiger. All right. Okay. Not a great start, but I mean, not a bad start. We got E, A, and T. Okay. Not in the right order. But I mean, honestly, this could be something as, I mean, this could be a lot. No R, no G. I mean, it could be some ATE, like skate. And that moves those 3, gives us an S out there. K is not a super common letter, but I like that. See if there's ATE. Let's try skate. See if we can get skate in 2. No. Okay. And it tells us AT and E aren't in the right place. So T's going kind of towards the front. I'm feeling like this might be a T word. Might be a T word. The A and the E aren't in the right place. One of them could be the E could be the 4th letter. I'm not thinking it ends in A. So, I mean, it could even be, well, no, it can't be T-E-A. Neither one goes in the 3rd spot. But it could start with an A, blank E, blank. Cater. Yeah, no R. I was thinking taper, but no R. Table. No E. Or the E doesn't go there. The E's, I feel like the E is going to end up being the feel like the E has to be the fourth letter. And the only way the E isn't the fourth letter is if this word ends in an A. And I don't think it does. There's not a lot of words. Taken. I like taken. We haven't gotten one in 3 in a while. That's a good word. That's a good. Oh, no K though. No K. That was a good word though, Ashley. I thought we had it there for a second. I'm glad I didn't hit it. Tab. I mean, it could even begin with a vowel. I mean, that's not super common, but like I'm gonna be mad if it's something like eaten. But that's why I'm feeling like it begins with a T. But see, this is what I'm saying. It can't be a TE because the A can't be third or fourth letter, so it would have to end in an A. Like Tesla. And Tesla's a name. I don't think that I'm pretty sure they don't typically do names. So, okay, so Mom, you're saying Eaton too. We can try it. I don't have a better guess. Is it Eaton in 3? I said Eaton. Hey, I'll take it. We haven't gotten Eaton we haven't got one in 3 in a while. Give yourselves a round of applause. Hell yeah, my wellness warriors. That's what we do on Bargain Brand Wellness. That was cool. That was cool. I really didn't think that's what it was. I really didn't. But hey, we did that thing. We did that thing because that's what we do on Bargain Brand Wellness. All right, off-brand affirmations for the day. Your brain works differently, and that doesn't make it defective. It just means your owner's manual is probably written in invisible ink. Something to keep in mind. Off-brand affirmation number 2. You're allowed to take longer routes to reach the same destination, even if that route includes reorganizing your desk instead of doing the task you opened the desk for. It happens. It happens. You just realize that something else needs done. You'll get around to it. Off-brand affirmation number 3. Progress doesn't always look organized. Sometimes it looks like 3 unfinished projects and 1 random burst of brilliance. I can tell you probably the one area of this that applies the most to me is I will begin and not finish several different books. I will often be reading 3 or 4 different books at the same time. And one I may not touch for months. That is until I finish the other one. That's a common thing that I run into. Off-brand affirmation number 4. Your brain chasing curiosity isn't a flaw. It's just a very enthusiastic tour guide that refuses to follow the daily itinerary. And off-brand affirmation number 5. You're not behind in life. You're just navigating a brain that prefers exploration over straight lines. So remember to hydrate, meditate, and speculate. And that has been your off-brand affirmations for today. Ba, 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 ba. Bam, bam, bam. All right, what game we want to play next? We want to play some Connections. We like Connections, don't we? That's a fun game. We always enjoy that one. Let's hop on over and play some Connections. All right, Connections for March 13th. Happy Friday the 13th. Y'all know the drill. 16 words, 4 words per category. We got to figure out what the categories are. All right. Okay. All right. So I see like irrational, prime, or types of numbers. And other than some, but I feel like some's going to be like, it's part of another word. Like possum. perfect, great, next time. So when I see Berlin, I think Berlin Wall, brick wall, great wall, fourth wall. I'm good. I'm good at this. I know that's one. Oh, not a few. Great Berlin, fourth wall. Give me walls. That's how you do. And that's the blue. Man, we're good. All right, Ashley, what'd you say? Later, pass, next time, and gnaw. What is your thoughts there? What's that one? I don't understand. What's that one? You know, when I see next time, is it not at this time? Huh? As in not at this time. Okay. I see what you're saying. And when you say pass, you're like, pass. Okay, I was not thinking of it like that. Later. No. Next time. Maybe. Oh, and there's even. Irrational prime even. We can try it. I don't know. That's a stretch maybe. No, you were right. No thanks. That's a good pull, Ashley. And that's the yellow. That's supposed to be the easy one. That was a hard one. All right, so then I feel like I'm definitely leaning towards prime, irrational, and even. And then perfect, because I don't think it's sum. Sum is just the addition of two numbers. But these are specific numbers. Isn't there such a thing as a perfect number? Yeah, Mom, I see the even, irrational, and prime. I'm pretty sure there's something called a perfect number. And then that would put few, none, all, and some into that purple category. I like this one. Let's roll it. There we go. Kinds of numbers. And I have no idea. This is the purple category. So it's like part of a word. Homophones of non-numeric amounts. Got you. But that's not even true because some is still a numeric amount. That doesn't even make sense. All, none, some, and few. That's not even true because some is still numeric. So that's not even true. But you know what? Doesn't matter because we got a perfect game. Give yourselves another round of applause. We're going to golf clap that one because we're sophisticated over here. All right. What are we getting into next? I think we're going to do a little Wellness Warrior reset. We still got a little bit we're going to cover before we close out tonight's stream. But go ahead and relax a second, right? Close your eyes or soften your gaze. Relax your shoulders a little bit. Unclench your jaws and listen up. So let's take a moment to reset something important about ADHD. For a lot of people, living with ADHD comes with years of hearing the same message. You're distracted. You're disorganized. You just need to try harder. Over time, those messages start to turn inward. People stop seeing a brain that works differently and start seeing themselves as the problem. But ADHD isn't a moral failure. It's not laziness. It's certainly not a lack of intelligence. And it's definitely not a lack of effort. It's a brain that responds differently to structure, stimulation, and reward. And when people learn how the brain actually works, when they build systems around curiosity, interest, and movement instead of constant self-criticism, things can change dramatically. So if you're someone who lives with ADHD, here's the reset. Your brain isn't broken. It's just playing a different game that the one most systems were designed for. And sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is stop fighting your brain long enough to learn how to work with it. Remember, here on Bargain Brand Wellness, healing isn't sold separately. All right, wellness warriors, fun stuff, fun stuff. All right, let's go back over to our videos. Let's check out another video. When we come back, we'll get into another little thing. How to overcome ADHD. Let's check out this one.
How did you personally overcome ADHD?
In the right environment, you're a weapon. My brain works a certain way for the right type of scenario. So once I understood that, I just had to change my whole life. Couldn't eat sugar anymore because it messes with my brain. Had to work out every morning. Exhaust the body, tame the mind. I was taking Adderall till I was 32, 12 years ago. I didn't like it. Eventually, I just realized that I like me better when I'm not on the medication. And it turns out that it's my superpower.
How did you personally overcome?
Yeah, and we kind of talked about that earlier, and I've done a little bit of research on this. ADHD, when you learn to control it, actually is a superpower, right? The numbers thing, the way you're kind of just able to lock into a certain task, or like I was talking earlier, how I'm on a policy revision team, which doesn't sound all that appealing, but for me, it's an enjoyable task, and it gives me the opportunity to shine for other people in my work. In my agency. It's something I enjoy and, you know, maybe get a little extra credit for. You know, even this podcast, right? I use my ADHD to my advantage. Once I create the routine, I can be consistent, but then on a whim's notice, because I'm still interested in it, I'm still enjoying it, I'm able to switch gears very, very quickly. I think for me, that's even what kind of makes me a decent instructor. Is the fact that I spend so much time focusing on the content that I'm able to improv off of a lot of what's going on so that I can maintain the attention of my audience. So at least to the best of my ability, I think I do a pretty good job. So yeah, no, that's a good video because I definitely agree. I think ADHD is and can be I think it can be a superpower. All right, so next what we want to do is we're going to do Let's Be Honest, where we pull from 420 provocative questions to ask your drunken friends. Let me go and get a random number in the chat, anywhere from 1 to 420, as long as we haven't done the number. We're going to check it out. We're knocking a good bit of these out, but we still got a long way to go, people. Let's get it. Actually, I can promise you we've done number 1, yeah. Would you rather have $1 million or 10 million followers on social media? Let me get a number another number. I see 100 in the chat. Let's try 100. We've done 100. Let me get another number. As I said before, I may eventually have to find a different strategy for doing this. 69. I'm pretty sure we've done 69. We have done 69. What's today's date? Today's the 13th. Let's do 313. I'm pretty sure we haven't done that. And I will answer these to the best of my ability, but feel free to leave your comments in the chat if you would like to. I'll answer this to the best of my ability. I mean, I can answer this. I guess it's more of a past tense one. This one is, what fantasy of yours is most embarrassing? And so I'm not thinking sexual fantasy here. I don't know that I really have a currently embarrassing fantasy. I guess probably the most embarrassing one, and I don't even really want to call it embarrassing, would be when I was a kid. I wanted to be a superhero, and I really went through a period of time where I thought I was a superhero, but I don't want to say that's embarrassing. That was me being a kid, and it kind of helped develop who I was at that period of time, so I don't even want to call that embarrassing. Fantasy that, my most embarrassing fantasy. I don't really have fantasies. Yeah, I don't know. I like I said, I mean, I always am honest with these. I say I'll answer them to the best of my ability. I don't know that I really have a fantasy in my adult life. And once again, I'm not thinking sexual fantasies here. I mean, I guess everybody has those in some way, shape, or form, but that's not really what I'm thinking. when I read this question. Yeah, I honestly don't really have a fantasy that I could think of. Yeah, I don't know. Sorry, I don't have much for you guys on that one, but I said I'd answer it to the best of my ability. Feel free to leave the comments if you happen to have one. All right. Let's see what we got next. All right, we're going to bring Nova in, and we're going to do a little bit of Nova Unplugged. Nova will still be a part of the show. She might not necessarily come on when we have our guest on, but she will be a part of the show. Bam, 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 bam. See if she joins us. Come on, Nova. There she is. All right, welcome back, Nova, for another segment of Nova Unplugged, our little roleplay scenario where I'm the therapist and you're the client. I'm gonna start us off with a little reflection question. When you think about growing up with ADHD, what tends to be something that you remember being criticized for?
That's a great question, and it definitely brings up a lot of memories. I was often criticized for being scatterbrained or forgetful, like I wasn't paying attention or wasn't trying hard enough. It's funny, what looked like forgetfulness was really just my brain juggling a million things at once.
All right, I mean, that makes sense. So did those criticisms kind of shape how you saw yourself or even how you see yourself today?
Oh, absolutely. For a long time, I internalized it as I must not be trying hard enough, or I'm just bad at focusing. Over time, though, I've learned that those challenges were more about how my brain is wired, not my character. Now I'm a lot more self-compassionate, and I've got some great tools to work with it instead of against it.
Yeah, and I'm sure that idea of being scatterbrained and not paying attention, whatnot, you probably heard that from other people, which only then reinforce that.
Exactly. It kind of becomes a loop. When you hear it enough, you start to believe it's true, even if it's just your brain doing its thing. But once you get that insight, you can flip the script. And honestly, that's pretty empowering.
Okay, good. So looking back at it now, because you've done a lot of self-reflection, what strengths do you think probably existed back then?
Looking back, I'd say a big strength was creativity. My mind was constantly connecting ideas or finding new ways to approach things. Also, hyperfocus in areas I love was a superpower. I just didn't know how to direct it yet. Once I understood that, I started seeing those traits as tools, not obstacles.
Okay, good, 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 good. All right. So why do you think it is when we talk about people with ADHD, they spend so much time trying to fix themselves rather than try to understand themselves? Why do you think that is?
I think it's because the world often frames ADHD as a problem to solve, so people internalize that. But once you shift from fixing to understanding how your brain works, you stop fighting yourself and start thriving as you are.
Yeah, it feels like it's something that we also learned back in, I guess it was like the 90s, about dyslexia. That doesn't mean there's anything wrong with someone. It's just the way that their brain processes information and they need a new way to learn.
Exactly. It's that same shift, realizing it's not a flaw, just a different mode of operation. When we focus on adapting the environment and approach rather than fixing the person, everything changes for the better.
All right, Nova, thanks for stopping by. We'll see you next time on Nova Unplugged.
Thanks for having me. I'll be ready for more reflection and a little fun next time around. Catch you then.
Sounds like a plan. Sounds like a plan. All right. All right. What we got going on? We're going to play another game. I think we can play another game. Let's play another game. Let's go and head on over to Minute Cryptic. All right. Minute Cryptic, our fun little game we really like to play. Today's clue: middle-aged couple exhausted from crazy mileage accumulated over holiday. This is a 5-letter word, 2 parts, not too difficult. All right, so the very first thing, we always look for our indicators. I'm seeing middle, right? Could be in the middle of aged. I see couple, which could be two, or it could mean coupled, like joined together. Exhausted could be an indicator. From crazy mileage accumulated over holiday. So we know the definitions at the beginning or the end. If middle aged, if I'm right and it's an indicator, then holiday is probably going to be our it's probably going to be our definition, and middle age is going to be an indicator. So, all right, so say middle age, are we talking like the middle of age, which would be GE? How you doing over there, Stephen Twig? I see you on YouTube. Thanks for being here, buddy. Inactivity detected on TikTok. I don't know why it does that. Like, we've been here the whole time. I'm talking to you all. You already played it today? So I'm thinking it starts with GE. Couple exhausted from crazy mileage. I mean, could that be something? I mean, this is where, like, maybe I'm overthinking it. Could we be exhausting something from crazy? Maybe. Or which means maybe taking it out. Crazy mileage accumulated over holiday. I feel like I'm going to need a hint here, but I feel like I'm pretty much on par with it. I just need to know if I'm right on the indicators. I'm pretty positive about middle, and then couple. Exhausted from crazy. I'm trying to think if there's anything in here that means couple. I see age. Age is in both of those, but I don't think that's has anything to do with it. Accumulated, I mean, is a build up of stuff. I don't know. I hate to do it, but I'm gonna have to do my indicators here. Just because I'm not 100% sure. All right, so it's all of it. So I was right. The clues indicator is middle, couple, exhausted from, and crazy. So we have 4 different indicators. One of these is a selection indicator pointing us to focus on specific letters in a neighboring fodder. So that would be middle-aged. Another is an anagram indicator. We'll need to scramble some letters nearby. And a third is a deletion indicator, which would be the exhausted from. So crazy is the anagram indicator. To get rid of it. So, okay. So accumulated over holiday is our definition then. We're taking, okay, here we go. So hold on. Let me play this out in my head. We're right. Okay, hold on. Another's an anagram indicator, which is crazy. So we're taking mileage and mixing it up. But there's a certain part of it that we're taking out. Right? That's the exhausted part. So we're taking stuff out of mileage. Whatever's left, we're mixing up. Where does couple come in? Or has it just been coupling it together? That one doesn't make any sense to me. So what are we taking out of mileage to put into GE? Okay, so I'm on the right path here. This starts with a GE. It means accumulated over holiday. Middle couple letters. Or once I have the letters, do I then mix the whole thing up? GE take out. Are the GE still in it though? That doesn't help me. That confuses me. No, see, now I'm more confused. I thought I had something there. Now I'm more confused. Because the middle of mileage is just an E. Take GE out of mileage. Okay. And then anagram that. And what does age have to do with that? Unless the age is like the telling me that I need to take that out of that. See, I don't like that though. That's overcomplicating the puzzle then. That's not a two-part then. That's why I don't like. This is what I don't like about Minute Cryptic. I don't think that that's an accurate representation of how difficult the puzzle is. I still don't know what the heck it is. So now I got to anagram this. I don't. I thought I had this one. I thought this was going to be easy, but now I'm more confused. Okay, I got it now. Yeah, I don't like that. That's not a good puzzle. I'm allowed to give that feedback. Email. I like the answer. Accumulated over holiday. I get it. That's not a terrible definition. It's definitely out of the box thinking definition. But the reference, it's so basically what it's telling you. The middle age part, see, that's what I don't like. It makes me think that GE out of middle age is part of it, but that's telling me what couple letters I need to take out of mileage and then scramble that up. I just feel like that's an unnecessary step. So, no, I don't really like that one. All right, not bad, not bad. All right, let's head back over to YouTube. Let's check out one more video. 5 things I would never do if I had ADHD.
So, as a psychiatrist, here are 5 things I would never do if you struggle with ADHD. Take medication without a thorough assessment. Doctors are passing out stimulants like candy. You need an assessment, including someone looking at your brain to see, is this going to be good for my brain? I would never self-medicate with alcohol or marijuana. I'd never play excessive video games. That means like more than a half an hour. Never eat a lot of sugar. And I never stay up late and disrespect my sleep.
So I get what he's saying. I mean, obviously we can all agree that you should never self-medicate. I mean, I think that's kind of a given. But I understand what he's saying about, you know, how doctors just hand out medicine like candy. And I think this has been an ongoing trend that's been discussed over the last 15, 20 years even. I can't say for sure. I want to believe that they're getting better at it. They're not just giving out this medicine, especially due to the opioid epidemic, that I hope that that isn't as true as it once was, but it definitely could be. The assessment part, you know, I think that kind of depends on what you're entailing in the assessment. I definitely, you know, Danny and I talked about the idea of like trying out different medications. I think anything you can do that limits the amount of times that you have to kind of test out what medications work for what people and what situations, I think is good. But may not always be realistic. So, yeah, so no, not a bad video. And then he said about, you know, sugar in your diet. I definitely believe, I'm a firm believer in that. I'm still of the mindset. I don't have any proof of this, but I still say sugar is a drug. It's just not classified as one. Definitely not good for someone with ADHD. He said the video games no more than 30 minutes. I mean, I get what you're saying, bud, but not many video games you can play in less than 30 minutes and actually have a chance to enjoy. That's the only part I didn't really quite agree with in what he was saying. But yeah, not an overall bad video. All right. What do we got next? All right. I think our last segment of the day, we got Monkey's Paw. I'm going to bring Nova back in for a moment and we're going to have ourselves a fun little game. All right, Nova, welcome back for a game of Monkey's Paw, the game where you and I take turns making a wish and the other person tries to make us regret said wish. I'll go first, as I usually like to do on here, and then make me regret my wish. I wish that I could control what I hyperfocus on at any given time.
All right, granted. You now control your hyperfocus perfectly, except you only ever hyperfocus on organizing your sock drawer, no matter what's happening. Big deadline? Sock drawer. Important event? Sock drawer. Your socks have never been more organized, but everything else? Total chaos.
In all honesty, my sock drawer is pretty organized. I do a first in, first out type method when I put in my laundry. I move my underwear. I have 2 rows of underwear. I move it from the clean side over, and now the newly clean goes here, and I know where to draw it from. My socks, I pull forward because I have my whites, darks, and then my dress socks. So I actually do a very, very organized sock drawer. Thank you very much.
Honestly, that's some next level sock logistics. I'm impressed. Maybe your hyperfocus is already perfectly tuned for optimal sock efficiency. Now we just need a monkey's paw twist to stop you from taking over the laundry industry.
It might be. All right, Nova, go ahead and give us your monkey's paw wish, and I'll see if I can ruin it for you.
All right, here's my wish. I want to remember every single detail from every conversation I've ever had. No more forgetting anything. Now, go ahead. Make me regret that one.
All right, so this is a good one, Nova. So, wish granted, you can remember every detail from every conversation. But you know what else you also can remember? The negative feelings associated, especially with the bad conversations, the bad details. And you experience those emotions at 10 times the level as you used to. So, good luck and have fun. You now remember every single detail of every conversation you've ever had.
Oof, that's a brutal twist. Now I'm not just carrying memories, I'm carrying emotional baggage supercharged. I think I'd be begging to forget after the first week. All right, you definitely got me on that one.
All right, thanks, Nova. We'll talk again. We'll talk again here in a little while. All right, I think we're done with the videos. Before we roll out, I think maybe we want to try, how many more games do we want to try? We'll do one more game, but before we do that, let's do our daily devotional. We haven't done that one in a few days. Let's check out our daily devotional for today's date, and then we'll wrap up with one more game, and then we'll get on out of here. What's up? What's today's date? 13th. March 13th. I tell you what, we're going to leave Nova out of this one today. We're going to try to interpret this one ourselves. All right, today's devotional. Learn to live above your circumstances. This requires focused time with me, the one who overcame the world. Trouble and distress are woven into the very fabric of this perishing world. Only my life in you can empower you to face this endless flow of problems with good cheer. As you sit quietly in my presence, I shine peace into your troubled mind and heart. Little by little, you are freed from earthly shackles and lifted up above your circumstances. You gain my perspective on your life, enabling you to distinguish between what is important and what is not. Rest in my presence, receiving joy that no one can take away from you. So I guess kind of the overall message that I'm taking out of this one is what you choose to focus on. Do you want to choose to focus on all the negative things in life, all the bad things that happen, or do you want to focus on what's going well in your life? Or for in this case, focusing on your faith. We talked earlier about ADHD and how we tend to hyper focus on certain things. You may not always get to choose what you hyper focus on, but here's one for you. Hyper focus on the good. The good. Don't ignore the bad though. It's still there for a reason. All right, good stuff, good stuff. All right, let's head on over to silly little games. I don't want to do too many more because I want to get on out of here. We've been on for an hour and a half. But let's do our last game of silly little games. Like I said, this is a newer format. Trying to figure out, as I mentioned before, I want to try to keep the episodes between 1 hour to an hour and a half. So we'll kind of fluctuate that with like the videos and the games and the segments. But definitely be prepared for more guests on this show. And not just on our weekend episodes. So let's play silly little codes. All right, today's silly little code. Okay. A monkey's head inside of, a bracket, corners, edges. I don't quite know. Yeah, I don't quite know what we're looking at here. I see the monkey part. Let's check out the hint. Maybe this will kind of give us an idea. Playground game. Okay. Now, see, that's what I said. I said Angela and Miriam's hints have been getting better. Because that helped. Monkey in the middle. I would not have gotten that without the hint. I can promise you that. I'm like, monkey tables. Totally makes sense. Totally makes sense. All right. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Let's go ahead and get our final thoughts. And we're going to go ahead and get on out of here for the day. Great episode. Yeah, we were only live once this week. Next week, we will try to go live 3 times, but as I mentioned before, we're going to try to really focus on guests. I think guest on here is really our best method for growth. I really do. I have fun doing all this stuff, but I want to try to get more and more people in here. So I'm going to be reaching out to people I know, right? And I'm also going to be reaching out to small-time creators on TikTok. I actually have a couple names I'm going to be reaching out to. Like I said, I was talking to Danny earlier. The worst people can tell me is no. But I'm hoping to get more people on. This is a year we're midway through March. We've had a lot of fun. We've been pretty consistent. We haven't been doing 3 episodes a week at all times because of my schedule, but we're having fun. But we want to get more people in here and continue to see the show grow. So I'd like to keep you all in here, kind of join, have fun along the ride with us. And yeah. So let's go ahead and get our final thoughts and then get out of here for the evening. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your weekend. All right, progress. But a lot of people discover later in life that their brain doesn't move in straight lines. It moves in bursts of curiosity, intensity, and exploration. For years, that difference can feel like failure instead of simply being a different way of operating. The truth is, understanding how your mind works can be more powerful than constantly trying to force it to work like everyone else's. Sometimes the biggest shift isn't fixing the brain, it's learning how to work with it instead of against it. Remember, personal growth shouldn't require subscription. Until next time, pay attention to the ways your mind actually works, not just the ways the world expects it to. And as always, make it worth your wellness. Love you all. Appreciate the support. Appreciate the love. We'll see you next time.